Lois. So this is going to be my first class on restoring a high-end synthetic wig. There is a difference. You'll see different wigs, some of the cheaper wigs, and the mixed blends. You can put more heat. With this, you're going to have to be very, very careful what you're doing so that you don't burn it, melt it, and that you get it done perfectly. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to the model now. This is Mary. Hi, Mary. Okay. So the first thing in working with a wig is you definitely want to go with a rubber-based head. And you also need T-pins. This is what you call a T-pin. You see the T-shape? So this is very important. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put her on the head. And we're going to do 4 T-pins to really secure it. So we're making sure that the wig is on straight, ear to ear. That's very, very important because we're getting ready to restyle it. And if it's not where it's supposed to be, then the style could be off. It could be lopsided, especially if we were going to do some cutting or anything. We're not. But if we was, that's very, very important that the wig is on correct. Before you go making your videos, make sure you have everything that you need. Okay, here it is right here. So great. I have everything I need. I need the 4th T-pin. So we're going to take and do the back. That's very, very important that you do that T-pin at the bottom. Because as we're working, it's always better to work from the bottom up. So we have that. Now let's lock it. Make our stand. You need a wig stand to set her on so that you can bend it from side to side. You can do different directions with it. So I'm going to take her to the side so that you can see. I hope that you can see how frizzy this hair is. I'm going to turn the light up a little bit better. Blind me. But I want you to see. This is very dry. It's very rough in places. So you see how it's not moving? So when we do it, we're going to put the spring back in her. So what you're going to need is not your Cheons, not your Paul Mitchells, your high-end flat irons, but definitely always ceramic. But you want a cheaper one that has like a very low heating setting. So we're going to cut it on. And this is going to be very, very important. So let's start at the bottom. Let's pull this up here. We're going to brush her. Yeah, she's been through a lot. This is a customer's wig. The important thing about what I'm doing is, this is huge. You have to always keep testing that curl. So if you don't know what you're doing, always start from the back to bottom. Take a very, very little piece. Turn it around. So let's see. Very good. See it? Look. With a T, you'd be in and out. So you're continuously going to always just keep going back, testing your arm. I don't know if you can see how nice, much more silkier that became. Beautiful. Now the main thing that I'm seeing now is once you straighten it, then you let it cool. We're going to turn this down and we're going to go back and we're going going to put in, our mailman just came in. We're going to go back and put in the curl. You don't put the curl in right away. You got to cool it a little bit, then you put the curl in. If you try to put the curl in too soon, it's not going to go. Look at that. Beautiful. She's getting her curl back. I think it's easier to just keep putting it back as you go along, opposed to doing the whole thing and then going back and doing the curls. Just a little bit too much work for me. So now we're going to come across. We're going to take it out. Roll all the way across the back, the bottom. Sometimes when you're dealing with the white hair, you have to be, I don't know if it's showing up as rough as it is, like maybe with the darker hair. The thing also with, as you hairdressers know, when you're dealing with white hair or high, really, really light and silver, you have to be very, very careful because you can burn it. You can scorch it. You can make it yellow. The same thing when you're dealing with wigs. Even though this is synthetic, you want to be very, very careful. Even with hairsprays. You don't want to, if you use a highly lacquered hairspray on this, it's going to turn yellow. So that's important. So now I cut it back on. I'm testing. I think it's pretty hot as far as I want it to go, so I'm cutting it off. This is what you will be doing all the way when you're dealing with, see how the comb gets getting stuck? Let's put that comb in front of it. Look at there. Can you see that? Can you see how silky and nice that came out? So the curls are still off. That's important. It's a big difference between a low-end wig that you can go in and you can take and use a steamer and you can do all kinds of things with. But if you're doing a high-end synthetic, when you're talking about high-end, you're talking about Jacques Renault, Estetica, Henry Margot, Raquel. So if these are the companies that your wig is in, this is the only way that you would restore it. So now, look at there. See, it's not getting caught. It has cooled. The curlers is cooled. So while it's cool, let's go in and put that bend back in it. Now this wig, when we get to the top, we're actually going to do some roller setting because it's a high volume wig style that she wears. This is not, she doesn't wear just straight hair. But it's always good to put that bend in before you curl it. It just makes the curling a little bit easier. Look at nice. Look how nice that's doing. Beautiful. Now, let's just say not blonde. Definitely not blonde. Or white. You could do blonde, but not white. So let's just say that we let it get a little bit too, look how nice that is. That we let it get a little bit too hot. And it scorched the wig. Because you're dealing with a synthetic, to this level, you can always go back in and you can straighten that out. Let those curls cool, let the piece cool, and go back in and you'll straighten that scorch out. As long as you didn't just melt it. But you know, if you scorched it, and you know when you scorch things, they feel a little, it feels rough. It feels worse than it did before you started. So, because you scorched it. So you can go back in and you can straighten that out. But if you scorch a white or, this is a number 60, high in silver, then you have no choice. It's nothing you could do. So if you're going to be one of those people that restore a salon owner or something, and you have clients that's going through chemo or other illnesses, and you need to help them with their wig to keep their wig going, then this is what you would do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause it right here. Well, you know what? I'm not going to pause because they tell me that you can edit this, but also you can fast forward it. And sometimes when people are trying to get the understanding of something, look at that. Ooh, pretty. It's coming back nicely. The curlers are actually off right now. Because I'm trying to maintain just a certain temperature. So you're going to take it and you come through it the first time. That softens it. Then the second time, you put the comb in front of it, in front of your curler, and you just let it guide you. Salon owners and hairdressers know exactly what that is. That makes the actual hair more loose, more fluffy, opposed to you grabbing a big hunk, going through it. That's going to mess it up. So look at her. All right, little girl, she is coming back to life. If you scorch her, then you definitely want it to cool. And then you want to use water to go before you. Like I say, if you burn it, it's a difference between a burn and a scorch. How many people know that? Burn is when you get into the melting, the smell, all of that. You can take and leave your wig next to something, like lay it maybe on the arm for a second and didn't realize it. Like, oh my God, snatch it off really, really quickly. Let it cool, and then you can go back and you can you can soften it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue the back, and then when I get to her front where it's really rough around the skin area, because what makes it, perspiration is the enemy of these wigs, of all synthetic wigs. Even if whatever you pay for, this is a $340 wig, it's still synthetic. So if she's a high, if she perspires a lot, she's going through menopause, or she's having chemo, sometimes that would make your hair, make you perspire a lot. Then you want to try to learn styles, which you can teach them how to get that off of their face, off of their neck, to look nice when they're working out, or if they're out, if they're on the shore and they're starting to get a little hot, or they have a senior moment and start perspiring, how to pull that up off of there. So that's very, very important. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause her, and then I'm going to come back. But look, already. Oh, here's to you. Okay. So I'm just going to pause it, and then I'm going to come back, okay?